What is shaking? Alongside Craig Bergman. Berger was just commenting on how you can't push a mayor and get away with it, but apparently I did push a mayor. I didn't know he was a mayor at the time, but KJ ended up becoming the mayor of Sacramento. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about that incredible, unbelievable. Seems like that's been the Niners' kind of season so far this year. Not sure what's going to happen. Are you going to win? Are you going to lose? So shit, they won. Like they won. That was amazing.
I mean, 5 minutes ago we were thinking, boy, this is going to be a tough one, tough loss. But
I think 5 minutes ago we were thinking, Sky Moore, what the fuck are you doing?
Sky Moore got bailed out.
Is it that hard? Like seriously, is it that hard for punt returners to count backward from 8? 8's good. 7, 6, 5. It starts to get progressively worse as you get to 0 catching the ball. If you get to 7 or 6, you might think, yeah, maybe I shouldn't catch this, because I'll tell you what, they ended up getting the holding in the end zone. Pooney got beat right off the snap by Calais Campbell, who's just a mountain of a man. But that's at least 80% on Sky Moore. He put him in that position by catching the ball at the 5-yard line. But thanks to Panera, we actually get to talk about good special teams instead of bad special teams. But so you're a coach, and I'm sure your players have done it. How hard is it to go, look, you're at the 8. If you back up, don't fucking catch the ball.
It wasn't like he was inching backwards. He went back quick. You got to know that, and obviously somebody on the sidelines got to him, because the exact same kick came back to him on that 4th down punt that they got the ball at the 20. If he does the same thing there, probably a whole different story.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Calais Campbell, your play calling's probably a little bit different, but you're not in that position to where if you take a holding, it's a 10-yard penalty, not 2 points. So that was wild, because it took them forever to get a touchdown. And then next drive, they give up a touchdown. But my God, the defense has been phenomenal so far this year. It really has.
Defense, I mean, they rose to the occasion every time they needed to. The play that Warner made on that 3rd down pass was just dynamite. Yeah. I mean, and if you look behind him, you got Trey McBride wide open. If he doesn't make that play, the game's over. And, Pooney with the hold, both of us looked at it. And if Pooney doesn't hold there, it's going to be a sack anyway. Yep. So, obviously I don't fault him for holding, because, hey, you're beat like that, don't give up the sack, and they still got to catch you. It's only a hold if they catch you. Exactly. And unfortunately, it was right in front of him. But defensively, my God, that's a good team. I mean, they were 2-0 for a reason. They haven't played great competition, but they're good, and they're going to win a lot of football games. And that, combined with the Rams' loss today, is huge.
No, absolutely. Speaking of losses, we might get to that later, but that was a bad beat for the ages. I didn't have it, thank God. Hey, Mike, you're going to have to move back a little bit here. You're getting in the way. I love you and all, but you're kind of getting in the way of the. There you go. Hey, you're still good, Mike.
Got to make sure Bill's beer is showing.
Bill's still got to be there. Yeah, Bill's still got to be there. There you go. Bill with the great pecs, by the way. Incredible pecs. But no, that was. I mean, I thought Michael Williams played really well today.
He played fantastic.
Other than the 2 times in the first quarter, I think it was first half. I think it was first quarter that Murray got around the edge, and he got around late too when the corner dove in when they were trying to kill the clock. They got the first down, and we'll get to the Upton Stout play, which was a really, really nice play. But they did a good job of making Murray beat him from the pocket. And look, if he's going to beat you from the pocket, then you live with it. But he didn't beat him from the pocket, and they only let him get outside a few times.
Yeah, and that was early. He ran for a couple first downs, and Bosa got sucked inside one time to run a stunt, and he had outside contain, and he lost it, and that gave up a big first down. And he did that to them a couple of times. Then they kind of shored that up, and that's when he's dangerous when he's outside the pocket, not just running the ball, but throwing the ball. He's not a pocket passer, and I think you have your best success against him keeping him in the pocket, and it showed today. When they kept him in the pocket, he wasn't that effective.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention this defensive performance was 2.5 quarters without Nick Bosa.
Yeah, and without Bosa, and And I thought their coverage was great, minus the one they did have one gaff and they got bailed out because Harrison dropped the ball.
Yeah,
which probably might have ended up in a touchdown. He was well behind the corner, and the corner bit up.
The same play later, and they completed it.
They
that
did.
was like that same play got him twice.
It did, and that was the corner. He's got to sink in that. There's nothing underneath him, and he bit up for some reason twice. And they got hurt one time and should have got hurt the other time.
Yeah, no, but I mean, without Bosa, you're thinking now that it's never good when your star defensive player looks up in the stands and goes, he did the Joaquin Phoenix, done. But I mean, so far this year, right? You're without Kittle, except for what, a quarter?
Yeah, quarter, one and a half quarters,
maybe. Ayuk's been out. Now Bosa misses most of this game. I mean, the injuries they've had. Lest I forget Brock Purdy, their quarterbacks missed the last couple games. To be 3-0 right now, I mean, I'm not going to say it's found money because they earned these victories, but to be 3-0, I thought 3-1 heading into October, just get a split. And by the way, watching the Jaguars today, please, sorry Ogden, Niners would be favored in that game. I don't care who the quarterback is. Looks like Purdy may come back, but without Purdy, without Kittle, without Ayuk, without Bosa, to be 3-0, my goodness.
And you said you wanted to be 3-1 in October, and that was before the injuries.
Yeah.
And without the injuries, with the injuries that they have, they've eked it out. And I think that's going to be the way they have. I think that's going to be their formula for winning at least early until they get healthy. Hopefully they get healthy, because right now they're struggling to get the ball down the field. I mean, they got to dink and dunk them. There was only a couple of throws down the field.
Pearsall
throw, and that last one was wonderful. It was a great throw, great catch. It's good coverage.
Yeah,
just a good football play. And the only other one that they really attempted down the field was Pearsall in the first half, and they had him open on a corner route, and he overthrew it by just about a foot or so. Other than that, they just threw all underneath stuff. And boy, to me, the best investment they made was going out and getting Mac Jones. What an investment, just to have a guy with that kind of savvy as your backup. And the confidence that he's got right now, that's going to bode well, because Purdy's going to come back, but he might get hurt again. Yep. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. And to have confidence like that in your quarterback, that's huge.
Pearsall's becoming a guy, isn't he?
He is becoming a guy, and I think they've got to try to find even more ways to get him the ball, especially with Kittle out, Ayuk out. He's the one guy that can stretch the field a little bit, and that they've got to get some of the other guys. I thought Kendrick Bourne made some great plays down the stretch, terrific plays where he extended the series in that last drive, and they've got to find other weapons, because giving it to McCaffrey as much as they did, boy, that's playing with fire right there, because we know how injury prone he is.
Yeah, let me look real quick. He didn't have a lot of carries, and I'd be shocked if he had more than 10 carries. I want to say last time I checked, he had 8. He may have been stuck at 8, but he had a boatload of reception. Oh, he had 17. Good Lord, he had 17 carries. I didn't think he had that many. And then he had 10 receptions. So there you go.
27 touches
around the
again.
30 number. I think he had 29 against Seattle. So he did have a lot more carries than I thought. Well, DeMarcus Robinson comes back next week, which will help the wide receiver room, no doubt about it. And then when they get healthy, it's NFL, so who knows if they're ever going to get healthy. But, conceptually, you could have Pearsall, Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, and DeMarcus Robinson. That's a pretty good wide receiver group.
That's a great wide receiver group. Yeah. And when you get Kittle back, you got to throw him into that. And I still could include McCaffrey as a receiver, because they split him out a lot and utilize him as a wideout. It's I think Brian Robinson made a great run down the stretch. That was the biggest run he's made since he's been a Niner, and love to see them get him more involved, get him more, maybe 5 or 6 of those touches that McCaffrey got, just to keep McCaffrey a little bit more fresh. And I think when he's fresh, he's really tough to stop. And right now it's hard to get him fresh because you're giving them the ball so much.
So being a coach, as long as you've been a coach, I'm sure you've seen this before. Teams that don't play great, but just grit out wins, gut out wins, find ways to win a ball game. What does that mean for a team early in the season where, let's be honest, they could be 1-2 right now and it wouldn't be all that shocking, but they found a way to win. The Purdy throw to Tonjes to end the game. This last drive they had against the Cardinals. I want to touch on Upton Stout's play in a minute, but what does that mean for a team that just has that belief that, we're going to find a way? I don't know how, we're going to find a way to win this football game.
I think it starts with your defense, and they've leaned heavily on their defense. And having Robert Saleh, his energy on the sideline has just it's infectious, and it's infectious for the offense as well. The offense knows, hey, we can go out and we can make a few mistakes because our defense is going to bail us out, and they have. And that makes it easy as a coach to call plays. You can take a few more chances because you do have that confidence in your defense. And I know that right now Shanahan's hands are a little bit tied because he doesn't have those weapons. And a lot of the plays that he likes to throw down the field, he just can't call those right now. And, and that's not going to happen, really, I don't think, until Ayuk comes back.
Yeah. And when you get Ayuk and Kittle back.
Yeah.
Then you have Pearsall. Then you can kind of open everything up. And I really think, look, it'll benefit. I'm not sure where Demarcus Robinson's going to fit in. But, again, we don't know when Ayuk's coming back. We don't know when everybody's going to be healthy, if they're all going to be healthy at the same time. But then you put Jennings back in the slot and let him do his thing in the slot, and you have Pearsall and Ayuk wide. I mean, that's a pretty – I don't know that it's, prime Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, which was about as good as it got, but it's pretty damn good.
Well, I mean, Pearsall's a better receiver than Debo.
Yeah,
he runs better routes. He gets down the field better. I mean, Debo is dynamite when he catches the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that, there's always been talk about how he didn't run great routes, and that kind of limited Shanahan with what he could call to get him the ball. They had to find different ways. With Pearsall, you can get him the ball throwing it. And I think you're going to start seeing a little bit more of what they did with Debo with Pearsall too. Getting him the ball on a few screens and maybe end around. And utilizing that when they get healthy. They can't do that right now because he's too valuable as a receiver. He's really their number one threat. And when they get everybody healthy, I think we're going to see a little bit more of that down the road.
Yeah. Ogden just put up that I guess Bosa was a knee injury. I thought it was a back injury. That's kind of surprising to me. How big a relief is it for Niner fans to have a kicker that you go out there and you're like, I'm pretty sure he's going to make it.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make it. And then Pinheiro hits a game winner. I was like, oh, and because I think the Niner fans have PTSD when it comes to kicking. Moody's giving them PTSD. And I'm hoping that Pinheiro can phase everyone out of that. And we can just go back to watching games like every other fan base or most fan bases where, 40-yard field goal, that's good. 45-yard field goal, that's good.
Yeah, the field goal is only one portion of that special teams, though. They still got to shore up the punt gaffes and the punt return gaffes and kickoff return. Those are things that, as we saw, could have cost them the game today. Yeah. And they've got to address those. They've got to be more sound. They've got to be smarter about it. And a lot of that is the coaching. They've got to make sure they have the right guy back there that knows exactly what, hey, if you have to back up, let it go. If for some reason it sticks on the two, it sticks on the two.
Talk about how you taught it. How did you teach punt return?
Heels, and right there, I was a big believer. Just get us the ball.
Yeah,
fair catch it. Don't try and do something stupid with it unless you have to at the end of the game. In a situation like that, it used to be heels on the 10. Now it's the 8.
Yep.
If you have to back up, you let it go. And in fact, you go away from it, try and decoy the defense or the punt team to think that the ball's going elsewhere so they can't down it. But if you back up, then don't catch it, because more than likely, if you're backing up, that the momentum from that ball is going to carry it into the end zone. And that's what the rule is. And that's high school stuff. And that's something that's a mistake that he should not have made. And the coaches should have been all over that before the kick. And I guarantee you they were on the second time, because you saw he didn't back up and he let it go. And that's what he should have done the first time. So, you live and learn, and they got lucky and they won the game. But those kind of mistakes, you can't do that against a great team.
How do you, I don't know if this is even something you can explain, but I've thought about this forever. And I don't want to call these guys dummies, but it's a dumb play. And if you do enough dumb plays, then you are a dummy. But how do we see this happen over and over and over and over again? I saw a fucking guy catch the ball over his shoulder at the 2 and ran into the end zone with it, and then had to come out with it in the college game. They're young. I don't want to hear they're young. You've been playing football, for 10 years prior to that. You should know better. How does this happen? How does this happen at all levels where you're just like, wait, what are you thinking?
Usually when you have a guy back there, they're tremendous athletes. They're usually good at catching the ball, good at doing something with it. And the confidence that they have is that, okay, I'm going to catch this ball and I'm going to do something with it. Even though common sense tells us, no, you're not. This is the NFL. Guy kicks it up there for 5.5 seconds, is going to land it on the 5. You're not going to do something with it, but they always feel like, I'm going to make a play. I'm going to be the difference maker in this game. And that's hard. And you don't want to get that out of guys. You want them to have that confidence, but you got to know the situation. And in that situation right there, that is not one of those times where you're going to try and catch the ball. I mean, you fair catch it right where it is. If it's coming to me, if it's over my head, let it go. And if it's a great kick that happens to backspin and he puts a little tour jizz on it and they down it inside the 5. But
well, I mean, he didn't even try to make a play. He fair caught it.
I know. It was
fair catch it at the 5. So I know I'm going to get it at the 5. It's like, oh, you're killing me.
Yeah.
You're killing me. Sky Moore, buy Pinheiro dinner. You owe him a dinner for making that kick because you were going to be the GOAT of the game. No doubt about it. What'd you make of Upton Stout's play at the end of the game on 3rd down? Rip the ball out. That was, this is a little dude. This is like 5'8", but apparently he's like a bulldog out there.
Man. And he caught it. He caught the ball, but Stout had he had his hand in there. He did not give up on that play. He kept with it. Even when he hit the ground, he had it in his hands, but he knocked it out and he just stayed with it. That was just tenacious play. And that right there defensively kind of summed up how they played today. They just played hard for the entire game, and they made play after play, and they forced a lot of punts. And like I said, that's a good team. And Kyler Murray, I'm not a big fan of his as far as his throwing goes, but man, he wreaks havoc on defenses. And and when he starts running around and making plays, it's tough. And that play right there, that was a difference in the game.
No doubt about it. Ogden just put up there, in case you guys aren't watching, you're just like listening. It's not an ACL from Bosa, so it's not. I'm going to try to make this screen a little bigger too, so we can see.
It looked to both of us like it was his back.
It did,
and the way he got twisted, and his knee didn't look too bad. I didn't notice anything different, but I mean, obviously, he has so much weight and the torque that goes on a body like that, it can put a lot of damage on that knee.
Those Ferraris, man. Those Ferraris, you get a little something wrong with them. You got to take them to the shop.
Like, I tell you, his replacement came in and did a wonderful job.
Yeah,
I mean, he stayed outside, didn't let him run.
Huff,
and they put some pressure on it. I like what Saleh did. He did bring some heat in key situations, and because they weren't getting a lot of heat with 4, so they did come with 4, 5 or 6 guys sometimes, and it forced him to throw the ball early. I thought his defensive game plan was tremendous.
Yeah. So I've done this for the last 15 years where I could come on the air, come on this show if I wanted to, and talk about the greatness of Steph Curry, like just how great he is, what he means to the Warriors, what he means to the league, what he means to his teammates, just everything about Steph. Like, I don't feel like doing it every single show, but I could if I wanted to, because that's how great Steph is. The only reason I bring that up is because I feel like sometimes we gloss over the greatness of Fred Warner and how great this guy is. Like, you take him for granted how great he is and the plays that he makes and the fact that he posts every single game. What was it, like a broken foot or broken? He had something broken last year that he played with. I want to say it was a foot fracture or something like that. Like, this guy just plays. He straps it on. He plays. Other guys get hurt, and I'm not saying they're not hurt, but we've seen McCaffrey in and out of the lineup. We've seen Bosa in and out of the lineup. We've seen Kittle in and out of the lineup. We've not seen Ayuk out of the lineup. We've seen Williams miss some games. You just don't see Fred Warner miss games. I'd have to go back and look how many games he's missed over the course of his career. But the fact that he's as good as he is, as violent as he is, obviously this guy's super smart, but he's out there leading the defense every single game. He's incredible. Like, look, you're not going to get me to say a bad word about Patrick Willis, Bowman. Those guys are awesome. I mean, there's no doubt. And Patrick Willis is a Hall of Famer. They're different types of linebackers. But, boy, if you pressed me who the best linebacker I've seen in a Niner uniform over the last 20, 25, 30 years, I'd have a hard time not saying Fred Warner. He's incredible and he's dependable. Those are two things that don't always come together.
Yeah, they always talk about the old cliche, what's the best ability you can have? Availability. Yep. He's always available. And I I don't see any weaknesses in his game. He makes mistakes like everybody does. In fact, we talked about it today on that big long run they had towards the end of the game. He got sucked inside when he should have gone over the top of a guy.
Yep.
And I'm sure he's going to be the first one that's kicking himself for doing that. But then he turns right around and bats the ball down and thwarts that drive. I don't know of any weaknesses he has. He's great when you run at him. He's unbelievable when you try from sideline to sideline.
Yep.
And his coverage, I think he's the best covered linebacker that maybe I've ever seen. I mean, he covers quick backs out of the backfield, great tight ends, and he really negates what they do. And whenever he was locked on Trey McBride wasn't getting anything.
Yep.
They were able to move him around a little bit and get him mismatched on Winter a little bit, but there's no weaknesses in his game, and I'm glad he's playing for the Niners.
Yeah, he is absolutely amazing to watch. And we should mention too that if we were giving out 3 stars like they do at the end of hockey games, if you're from a Niner perspective, you'd have to give one of the stars to DeMarcado for dropping that ball at like the 7-yard line, because that was going to be at minimum a first down, more than likely a touchdown, and he just clanked it.
That was a touchdown. I mean, and he just took his eye off it, and it was one of those where he was like, I'm going to score. I'm going to score. Connor's out. And that's another thing. If Connor's in there, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And the Niners caught a little bit of a break. You never like to see anybody get hurt, but when he went out of the game, they lost a big aspect of what they do offensively. They try and get him the ball, throwing it. They give it to him, running it. Yep. He's one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. He's and them losing him is going to hurt them in the long run. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't able to hear it on the broadcast, but I'm guessing he's going to be out for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that looked ugly.
It did.
That looked ugly. I want to go back to a point you made early on, just the investment they made in Mac Jones. I mean, this was a guy that if you go by all the reports, he was a guy that Shanahan wanted when they got Lance. And then toward the end, they warmed on Lance and cooled on Jones, whatever the case may be. But he finally gets Jones here. And look, he's not perfect.
No.
But for a backup quarterback, there's not a lot of backup quarterbacks you'd rather have over this guy. He had the one bad throw, right, where he threw it. I don't know if it was a bad read per se or just a bad throw where he threw it ahead and high to Pearsall, ended up being the pick, but he's made some really good decisions for him. That drive, you mentioned it, the drive at the end, we're in New Orleans, drive at the end of the first half in New Orleans, the drive here to lead him down to a field goal. This is what you hope. And I didn't give him enough credit last week. I said, this is what you hope. He played really good last week, and I thought he played good today too. But this is what you hope a backup quarterback can do. Your starting quarterback miss a few games, you can still run your offense, maybe not everything, but most of it, and try to get a win.
Yeah, and playing with the weapons that he has.
Yep.
He's not playing with a full slate of weapons either. And you see him grow with his confidence, and I think he lacked it the past couple of years when I don't think he was getting coached. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that don't really coach their quarterbacks well, and it's pretty evident when you watch which teams do and which teams don't. And, guys have had great luck coming to San Francisco. They look at Sam Darnold, parlayed it into a great career, a great contract at Minnesota, and now at Seattle. And I see Mac Jones, I would love to see the Niners keep him, because having 2 guys that you can put in there, I mean, you're going to need them all. Look at everybody that's getting hurt. Joe Burrow's out, and we saw what happened to the Bengals today. They couldn't do anything. And the Niners lose, Purdy's out for a few weeks. They're still able to run their offense. They're still able to move the ball and have scoring opportunities, even with what they have. So he's invaluable, and I really hope they can keep him. But I'm also happy for him because he's having a good start to the year, and he's playing with the confidence that he didn't have at the other places.
Yeah.
He's playing more like he did when he was at Alabama. He looks under control, making the right reads. He's kind of unflappable. Like you said, he made the one bad throw, but that's going to happen. I mean, that's going to happen to everybody. You're going to make a bad throw every now and then, and couldn't say enough good things about him.
No, he's been fantastic. And this, to me, this is a sign. Okay, let's see. Initial testing on the sidelines and not for certain ACL. Kyle Shanahan said that ACL hasn't been ruled out, and there is still concern about a potential serious knee injury. That'd be brutal. That'd be tough. But you go out and get a guy like Huff in the offseason, that at least can mitigate some of that. But you're not going to replace the Bosa, obviously. But these first 3 games, I guess, my overarching thought is this is what good teams do. They find ways to win, whether they're healthy or not healthy. Because you can always use the excuse, well, what are you going to do? Look at our team, our team. But if you have enough guys that can play, and I think the young guys are coming into play, there's no doubt about it. But if you have enough guys that can play, belief, and the coaching staff behind it, I agree with you. I think Salah being back has been fantastic. Look, you're 3-0. They're not even close to being healthy. And again, I don't know if they're going to get completely healthy. It's the NFL. You never know if you're going to get completely healthy. But this is what you do. You find ways to win. And I don't want to say they've stolen two, but you could say they've stolen two. They definitely stole the one in Seattle. And then they kind of stole this one, maybe a little bit, but this is what good football teams do.
It is. And the talk going in was, hey, they have a pretty easy schedule. But as you look at it, I think Seattle's a really good team. Mm-hmm. And they're going to win a lot of games. And as evident today, I know they played New Orleans, the same team the Niners played last week, and they just ran them off the field. And, they've got Jacksonville next week, who obviously is not playing well, which I think is at the perfect time for the Niners with all the injuries. But Arizona's another good team. And in the NFL, everybody has the capabilities of winning any week. And Arizona's going to win their share of games, that's for sure. So even though their schedule is considered as a little bit weaker, I think Arizona and I think Seattle are good football teams. Yeah. And the West is strong. There's going to be a lot of, I said it before with the Rams losing, that's huge because they pull a game ahead of the Rams there.
Game ahead of the Rams, game ahead of the Cardinals, game ahead of Seattle. So they lead the NFC West right now. What challenges will Salah be facing if Bosa misses a significant amount of time?
I think you're going to see him bring a little bit more pressure from the linebackers. You can't just – when you play a quarterback that can sit in the pocket. Now, obviously, I think today was a great – with Bosa getting hurt against Kyler Murray, I don't think it hurts you as much as it does if you're playing a pure pocket passer, a Herbert.
Like next week they'll play Trevor Lawrence, although –
yeah, and
he's a pure pocket passer.
He is. He's a pocket guy, and I think in order to get heat on him, they're going to have to bring some guys because 4 guys aren't going to put the pressure on him. And even though he hasn't had a good year, he's still capable of sitting back there and throwing if you give guys time. So I think that's one of the things they're going to have to do is to bring a little bit more heat, which means you're going to have to play a little bit more man. You will give up some big plays, but you'll create some more turnovers that way.
Yeah. All right, we have the let's go over some other games. We'll take some comments too if you want to get to some comments. If there's anything that we missed throughout the course of the game you want to ask us about, because we were watching some of the games, not as closely as others. Boy, the Titans stink, don't they? Oh,
we were saying if you play fantasy football, how many of those guys on the Titans are even playing on anybody's team?
I had 2 of them.
Yes,
I had 2 of them today. I had Pollard and Okonkwo. Yay, me. I don't think I did very well. Although
Titans not good. The Saints are not good.
Saints are just awful. Saints are awful.
And in all the games we talked about too, is I've never seen so many funky plays. Defensive returns for touchdown, punt returns for touchdown, kickoff returns for touchdown, fumble recoveries for touchdown. And it seemed like there was a time there, about a half an hour space, where there was 5 or 6 of them. And usually you don't see that in the NFL.
So we're watching the Steelers and the Pats, and the Steelers found a way to win, found a way to hang on to that game. I mean, Drake May's got to work on ball security just a little bit in the pocket. You got to make sure you take care of the ball. But we were discussing Aaron Rodgers, and I know he's toward the tail end of his career, and he's kind of gotten a little funky with all the stuff that he talks about. But whatever. As far as quarterbacking is concerned, could you make the argument he's the best pure talent in terms of running and throwing the ball, arm, accuracy, all that has ever been in the NFL?
Yes. His skill set is as good as anybody's that's ever played, if not better. He's got the quickest release since Marino.
Yep.
He's got probably a little stronger arm than Marino, just a little bit. Moves better than Marino did, and has played on better teams, that's for sure. But yeah, you could certainly make that argument. It's because in his prime, I don't know of too many weaknesses he had. We talked about Fred Warner not having any weaknesses. He didn't have many weaknesses in his prime, and he still is capable of making some of those throws. He threw a throw for a touchdown there, back shoulder throw
to Austin,
there that sealed the game. And that's a throw that not many guys can make and have the confidence to make that throw.
No, he's absolutely, no matter what you think of him, he's absolutely incredible. Let's see. We got the Jets Buccaneers. That was a wild game. There's a block kick for you.
I know, a block kick, and I believe there was also an interception return for touchdown. Tampa intercepted one early and ran it back for a touchdown.
Yep. Okay, let me ask you this then. Is there are better quarterbacks than Baker Mayfield in the NFL right now? There's no doubt. But Baker is like kind of climbing the ladder a little bit. I don't know if there's that's hard to say. I mean, you got Josh Allen, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Mahomes. So I don't want to say he's the best. But I'll tell you what, there's not many quarterbacks, if there's any, that I would rather have with the ball at the end of the game where I need to score. This guy is like, he did it 2 weeks in a row. He did it last week against me, bastard. Against Houston, he came back at the end of the game, led a touchdown drive. And then today, they get the block kick, return for a touchdown, and he just comes right back down, boop, 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 throws sweet ball to Ibuka on the left-hand side. I mean, this guy's like, I hate to say it, but I was like, Baker Mayfield early on, I was like, come on, Baker. I know I'm doing this 2 weeks in a row, but he's really turned it around for me. But this guy at the end of games, I feel like, Baker's going to get it done.
Hey, what a leader. I mean, he's not afraid to make a mistake. If he makes a mistake, it doesn't get him down. He doesn't compound it by making another one. He learns from it. The guy is a winner. I mean, he is. He's a winner. And it goes back to, once again, he's at a place he's getting coached a little bit more, too.
Yep.
Obviously, the coach that they had last year moved on. He's now the head coach.
But
he got coached there, and he wasn't getting coached at the other places. And you see what happens to quarterbacks. Darnold did it. Mayfield did it. Mac Jones did it.
Yep.
So many quarterbacks are just stuck in purgatory at Cleveland or Carolina and Jacksonville and those places that they just don't get better. And he goes to a place, he gets coached, has some better players around him, but he's always had the ability to make plays. And now he's got some weapons to throw to, and I think they're doing exactly what they need to do to win with what offense they're running, and they put it in his hands, and he's not afraid to take it.
Yeah,
a lot of quarterbacks don't want to be in that situation. He does.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So they get a win. Raiders Commanders are not sure when Jaden Daniels is going to be back. If you had the Rams plus 3.5 or 4, I mean, I just my gut hurts for you. I didn't have them. I had them in a pool, which it's still bad enough. But there's no way you lose that game. No way you lose that game on the spread. And you did lose the game. Cardi, who is my fantasy MVP today, tells you a lot about my team, and my kicker is my fantasy MVP, lines up for like a 45-yard field goal. Jordan Davis blocks it. Big defensive tackle out of Georgia, recovers it, and then runs it for a touchdown. And they cover.
Can
and
win.
Imagine? Oh.
I mean, there was two teams that I thought really underperformed at the end of the game, Rams being one of them, and the Packers being the other. I thought the Packers dominated that game and just absolutely threw it away in the last 10 minutes of the game, and they were by far the better team. Cleveland was awful, and just through a series of turnovers and bad decisions, they found a way to lose that game.
They did.
And their defense, I mean, is playing their ass off out there. And their defense got me about 18 points, which was good. But they're so good defensively. It's basically don't screw it up on offense. And you talked about it. You're not sold on, and neither am I, on Jordan Love.
No.
He made some poor decisions and ball security. They fumbled the ball. They threw an interception. And just down the stretch, you can't make those. Even against the Browns in the NFL, you can't make those mistakes. No. And it showed.
Now, anybody that listened on Friday knows that was a game I really, really, really liked. Was the Browns getting 7.5 against the Packers. Took them a long time to get there, but they did get there. So I had that. Of course, I kind of recommended the Titans too. So, what are you going to do? Can't win them all. But that was a brutal, brutal beat. What's scary about the Eagles is they got down in that game. And Hurts, who hasn't thrown dick in the first couple games, went 21 for 32 for 226 and 3 touchdowns. Like, I think he can throw if he has to. They got behind, so he was forced to. But they just don't have to, and they haven't had. I think Sirianni's like, Why would I throw if I don't have to? He's not a great thrower. I just let him run, let Barkley run, and Brown will be happy today after catching some balls. But
I think he had 27 yards passing at halftime, either 27 or 37. Then he came out and they threw the ball. They still do some crazy things. I mean, the league said they were going to really look at the tush push, and the very first one they do, they jump off sides. They don't call it, which ended up that extended that drive. Yes. That was a 4th down play, extended that drive, and they scored a touchdown on it. If they get an offside penalty there, they're probably kicking a field goal.
Yep.
Game's done. It's over. And they didn't call it. And then Sirianni at the end of the game, I don't quite understand why, called a timeout.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it was at a time when with 15 seconds left, and they weren't going to do anything with it with 15 seconds left because there were still 2 downs left.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he took that. It gave the Rams a chance to huddle and get a play called. Obviously, it worked out in Philly's favor, but
gave him enough time to cover the game. Just when you thought Atlanta wasn't going to be Atlanta, Atlanta's Atlanta. You go to Carolina and just get smashed 30-0. 3-0 to -0. Brutal. Oh, Jake Browning, not good. Bengals or Vikings all over the Bengals.
And those people like me who have Jamar Chase.
Not good. Not good.
He had 3 points today and obviously was a consensus number 1 pick for everybody. And everybody's saying the same thing. Why they don't have a better quarterback than Jake Browning?
Fantasy's so much contingent on injuries. Jaguars beat the Texans 17-10. Like, I'm not sold on any of those. Lawrence, Stroud. Remember everybody was crowning Stroud a couple years ago? Both of those guys are like just mid-tier quarterbacks to me. They're just okay. Lawrence 20 for 40, 222, 1 pick. Stroud 25 for 38, 204, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. It just those teams. Chargers win another one, and they've won 3 in a row now against the division.
Yeah.
Took down the Chiefs, took down the Raiders, took down the Broncos. Well, they got I won't say a stranglehold after 3 games, but they're pretty good, and I think everybody around here would agree with me on this because they got to witness it firsthand, as did you. Harbaugh's a pretty fucking good coach.
And that was his type of game.
Yes, it was.
You know, it was not you're playing against Denver's defense is good. I mean, there's not many weaknesses there. They have great cover guys. Their front 7 is really good. And they just found a way to win, and they grinded it out. And Harbaugh's not afraid to run the ball 8 times in a row, and he's not afraid to punt the ball away and let his defense go out there and play. He's old school that way. Herbert down the stretch made some huge throws, made a great throw moving to his left. He escaped the pressure, threw across his body. Not many guys can make that throw. That ends up winning the game. But Denver, everybody was that was a kind of the pick to maybe go to the Super Bowl, definitely win the West.
Yep.
Have the opportunity. They're 1-2 now. And with Kansas City 0-2, and who knows what's going to happen with them tonight.
No.
The Chargers could be looking at a 2-game lead.
No, they absolutely could be. And no, I think, and then I got to say, unfortunately, shout out to Antioch's finest, Najee Harris. Looked like he kind of suffered I don't know if it's season ending. I don't know what it was. But anytime they bring a card out, it ain't good. So
for a non-contact injury.
Yeah, I just love Najee. Got a chance to interview him one time. Super cool kid. Really fun to talk to. Just his energy is infectious, and it's always fun to watch him play. And I always root for him. So hopefully he gets better soon and he's able to resume his NFL career. Saints Seahawks, moving on. We talked extensively about the 49ers Cardinals and the Bears. Bears. Caleb Williams actually looked pretty good today.
He did. You know what? He
19
learned.
For 28, 298, 4 touchdowns, no picks.
And he got rid of the ball. I would like to see how many sacks he took. You know, he took no sacks today.
No sacks.
And he got rid of the ball when he needed to. He threw it away when he needed to, ran when he needed to.
Yep.
And that's growth. I mean, we all knew he had a lot of talent. It's just a matter of can he harness it and do what the coach wants. Ben Johnson has obviously gotten all the credit for what Detroit did. And if he brings a little bit of that, they've got weapons too. I mean, Adunze's good. Moore didn't have a great game today, but he's good. Swift had a great game.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that people keep forgetting about him. Man, he was in Detroit. He was good in Detroit.
Yep.
Then he kind of bounced around a few teams, but he's back. He had a great game. He ran the ball well, caught the ball well out of the backfield, and they're a team to be reckoned with. Even though they're 1-2, I think they're a good team.
Yeah. Andrew just said, unfortunately, Najee tore his Achilles. So
I had a feeling it might have been the Achilles. I saw him reach down and grab the calf. That's usually that's not good.
What's going on with the Achilles now? How can we get all these Achilles injuries? It never used to be a thing.
Overtraining, I think.
Maybe.
I think it's overtraining.
Maybe.
And you know what? Everybody's so big and so strong and so fast that when you're going that fast and just the Bosa type thing, so much torque on your joints, and something's got to give. It's either going to be your knee or could be the Achilles when you're putting that much pressure on it.
I couldn't name you 5 Achilles injuries in my lifetime as a sports fan until I was like 40.
And you see it in basketball 60. Just as much now.
Halliburton, Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard,
Clay.
I think. No, Clay was ACL.
Oh, I thought he tore his Achilles.
No, he may have done that too. Well, he did working out.
Yeah,
you're right. He did. There was another one too that blew out his ACL. It was those 3. There was another basketball player. That
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I think Tatum.
Aaron Rodgers.
I think Aaron Rodgers. I think Tatum was an ACL. So I mean, not ACL,
Achilles.
But
Achilles. It was an Achilles.
It's just weird. I don't know what's going on with the Achilles. You could be right.
I do. I really think it's. I mean, honestly, you hate to. They're fine-tuned machines. Yeah. They are, and everything is. I mean, there's no fat in these guys. It's all muscle, and I mean, we're Kevin Durant, 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as quick as he is, and he makes a move like that. I attribute a lot to that.
I mean, that sounds as good to me as any. I mean, I have no clue why these guys are getting hurt, but yeah, it could be the overtraining. Because you remember, it used to be back before we played, training camp was a way to get in shape.
Yeah.
Then when we played, you got in decent shape before camp because you didn't want to get left behind. These guys are never out of shape anymore. They're never out of shape. They take a week or 2 off, and they're back to going again. And there may be something to that. Like maybe the body's saying, fucking, that's enough. Well, we need some time off here.
Basketball guys, the guys you're talking about, those are all guys that go deep in the playoffs, that played on the Olympic team, that have no break. They just keep going and going and
Derrick
going.
Rose, I mean, there's just so many of them.
And it's just the body needs a chance to recuperate, you know. And it used to be when we played, you go from football and play basketball in high school and go play baseball. Different muscles, and you gave your body a chance to rest. And you didn't see nearly as many of those. You see, you always saw knees, but as far as Achilles, you just didn't see it.
Yeah. All right, let's take some comments. If you guys have any comments on the game, any things we missed, anything you want to get into before we get ready for Sunday night football. We got the Chiefs and the Giants tonight. Go Malik Neighbors. That's all I'll say. I need Malik Neighbors to give me some points tonight. But if we got any comments. No, Andy said he can't believe the team's 3-0. I mean, it is kind of hard to believe the team is 3-0. The games they've won, I would imagine they were probably, I don't know what their percentage. They always have these percentages like what you are to win, what they were in Seattle before the last drive.
Yeah.
I bet you 30%, maybe 40, definitely less than 40%. Today they had to be less than 30%.
Well, that shows you analytics isn't always correct either.
This is true.
And
well, there's always a 29% chance, right?
A 29% chance that it'll work every time.
Every time. So there you go. All right, what do we got here? What's your boy doing?
Gavin.
Do we think Are we kidding me? You got to talk about the bullet? Get out of here. What's wrong with you?
He wanted to know if the bullet that found Pearsall gave him superpowers. Yeah, I think you're playing way too many video games, Gavin.
Dude, how high are you right now? How much weed do you have in your house? You have too much?
No.
Dude, when you go on vacation, there's going to be weed all over that house.
Don't say that.
Well, of course there is. Look at the question. Of course, here's a question. How about them Cowboys? We always like when the Cowboys lose. I don't know if there's anybody around here that doesn't like when the Cowboys lose.
Well, I like when they lose. I would have liked to have CeeDee Lamb get a few more points.
That's a good point.
That could be a big loss for them. I know he rolled his ankle. He looked like he's going to be okay, but you know, he didn't. I don't know how tough he is. He didn't want to tough it out.
Well, I had the Bears to pick him, so that was kind of fun. I enjoyed watching the Cowboys wilt. I think the Cowboys will be a team that'll beat some teams this year, but ultimately end up, 7 wins, 9 wins, right around there. Will work for Bear, so will I. Chargers legit? Yes, Chargers are definitely legit. You know what's legit? That defense.
Their defense. People see, they see Herbert and they think, hey, he's going to lead. He's not leading the team. He's doing wonderful.
Yes.
He's managing the game. He's making great throws. He's not making any mistakes. But their defense keeps him in every game.
I think game.
I don't know if I could say the same with Denver. Their defense is keeping them in the game, but right now Bo Nix is having a little bit of a sophomore slump. He's missing guys. He's not making the right reads, and they've got to do some things to address that if they're going to try to win the West.
Well, here's the interesting part. Let's go back to when Harbaugh went to Stanford.
Cavs.
So he goes to the Cavs. Yeah, if you want Cavs,
that'll cost you $2 right there. That's cost you $2 just for me to show them.
We're going to start charging you guys, okay? It's literally going to be it's going to be premium content. We're going to have to charge you. So let's go back to Stanford, because I don't really know much about him at UCSD or USCD. I think it was UC. I think it was
USD.
USD. Okay.
Yeah. The Toreros.
The Toreros. I didn't follow him back then. But Stanford, 49ers, Michigan, now the Chargers. This guy's a quarterback. He's an offensive guy. You think of him as an offensive guy, right? Like he's going to come in, install this great offense, this diverse offense, which he did at Stanford with like 19 tight ends in formations. But who did he play for? Bo Schembechler. How did they play football? Tough, hard-nosed, gritty, get after it on the defensive end. The one thing about Harbaugh, when he went to Stanford, they got physical on the offensive line and defensive line. They were badasses. When he went to the Niners, they were badasses on the offensive line and defensive line, but that defense was nails. What happens as soon as he goes to Michigan? That defense is fucking nails. Like you couldn't score on that team hardly. Goes to the Chargers, what happens? Defense gets better. So I don't know if it's the coaches he brings, the mentality he exudes, but there's something there with this guy that gets these teams, and his philosophies, of course, that as an offensive guy gets him to buy into being physical defensively, because that's the one thing I've noticed about the Chargers so far this season, and I've watched most of every game they played. They are really good. Derwin James is we all know this. He's really, really good. But that defense is legit.
I'll go back and starting at Stanford. I don't know a lot about what he did at San Diego, but at Stanford, he figured out I can recruit the best offensive linemen and defensive linemen in the country, because most of those kids are smart. Yep. They are. Most of the offensive linemen and defensive line, you have to be smart to play O-line. And he realized, hey, I'm not going to go out and get the speed guys. I can't get those guys. I'm not going to win that battle. A lot of them aren't going to be able to qualify for Stanford. A lot of them aren't going to want to come here, but I can get every offensive lineman and defensive line. And he did. He had NFL linemen up the ass. Every year he would probably sign 4 or 5 guys that were the top in the country. And you saw what it did to them offensively. They ran the heck out of the ball. They had Andrew Luck, the number, probably the top quarterback, and they still ran the ball.
Yep. And
they ran it with guys that were really good college players. Didn't really translate to the NFL, but they were great running backs for his system. He carried that over to Michigan, and he got every big guy there. And I see what he's doing in the NFL. What's he done? He took Slater, he took Alt, and that's a foundation for his offense for years to come. And when he was with the Niners, if you remember, he took 2 guys. He took Davis and he took Yapati.
Yep.
He had 2 first-round picks, and that took him to the Super Bowl. And he's figured that out, that's how you win at every level, is if you take linemen. And I've always been a big believer, if I was a GM, I don't care where my pick would be in the first round, I would take the highest ranked lineman on the board, because you can't get too many of them. You see all these guys get hurt.
Yep.
You take a Bosa, he gets hurt. If you're able to come back with another guy like that and just stockpile those linemen, you're going to be in every game. And that's what he does. He wins a lot of close games because he may not have the greatest athletes, but he's always got great physical, big human beings.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know. Did he take Slater? I think Slater was the year before.
Slater might have been there before him, but he took Alt, and I believe.
But your points well taken.
Yeah. I mean, I think he took. I'm not sure if he took Staley or not. I think Staley may have been the year before he got there. May
have been the year before he got there, but I know he took Upati and Davis, no doubt. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And Berge, you've told me that forever. I draft an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman in the first round every year. I can't argue that at all because that's where the games are won. Would you let Jones start next week? No, I mean, if Purdy's healthy, he's starting. If he's starting and they tell me, look, he's not going to he can't hurt it anymore. It's a pain tolerance thing. I'm playing him, period. He's my starting quarterback. He's out there. Now, if they tell me there's a slight chance that he could get hurt more, then yeah, I would absolutely play Jones. But if there's no chance, it's just a pain tolerance thing, Purdy's my starting quarterback. I'm playing him.
Oh, yeah, and he also brings more to the table.
Yeah.
His feet.
Yep.
Mac Jones does a great job moving in the pocket, but he's not a threat to run the ball. Purdy is a threat to run the ball, and he's going to have fresh legs when he gets back. And I agree. If he's able to go and he gets a clean bill of health, let him go. He needs to get some more playing time. He only played one game, didn't play in the preseason much, so he needs to get back in the flow of things. If he's, as you said, if there's any chance that he could re-injure that or make it worse, sit him.
Yeah.
You've already stolen 3 games.
Yep.
Try and win the 4th without him as well.
No doubt about it. All right. Do we think the Mahomes dynasty it's your boy again, by the way. He must have put down the pipe because he's asking a cogent question.
And I know he hates Mahomes.
Okay. Do we think the Mahomes dynasty is over? Look, I'm not going to be the first one to jump in front of that train. There were so many people that tried to jump in front of this is it for Brady and Belichick. They're done. And that was like about 8 years before it was actually done. They couldn't wait to be the first ones to say, oh, it's over. I'm not. I'm sorry. It's Reed. It's Mahomes. Wait till they get healthy. Wait till Rice comes back. Wait till Worthy comes back and they're whole. I think once they're whole, you're going to see a different offense. Look, I know it's all about Josh Allen right now. I know it's all about Lamar Jackson right now. But let's not forget about what Patrick Mahomes has done in his short career. Dude goes to AFC championship games every single year. Like every year he's started, he's been in an AFC championship game. So no, I'll be the last one to jump in front. Everybody will be jumping in front of that one. Some will get picked off. Some will beat me to it, but that's okay. Because I know Andy Reid, one of the best coaches in the NFL, and Patrick Mahomes, one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. And Josh Allen's great. There's no doubt about it. But I think sometimes we kind of take Patrick Mahomes for granted. So, no, I'm not. No. You're not catching me saying it's over.
And you talked, look, what weapons does he have? Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, Kelsey is at the end of his career who can't move. Hollywood Brown is an okay receiver. Worthy got hurt. He's not playing. Rice is out. So he's doing it. Juju Smith-Schuster can't get up the field.
9. Kelsey's probably around hole 17.
And they played the toughest schedule. I mean, they play tough teams.
Yeah.
They're good. They're not playing patsies. And if they probably wish they were with the injuries they had, but they you can't count him out. I mean, the guy makes play after play. I don't particularly enjoy watching his style of play because he flops a lot and he does some things that aren't real good. But as far as production, he's as productive as ever. And he made a play a couple of weeks ago, falling down, makes a throw, and he single-handedly has kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Because there's not much to their offense right now. And Andy Reid's probably going crazy because he can't design the plays that he wants.
Yeah.
Pacheco has been a little bit off.
Yep.
But and there's no depth there. Kareem Hunt really he's their backup, and I don't think much of him right now. He's past his prime, but no, I'm with you 100%. Until they prove that they can't win anymore, you can't count them out.
Funny thing about them is the Chiefs are a defensive team now. They're not an offensive team anymore. They're a defensive team. John wanted to know, go back to the last question, any concerns about Trent Williams, being that there's not a lot of runs to the left side so far?
Boy, I mean, there's always concerns about him because he's getting up in age, and he's certainly not the Trent Williams of 4 and 5 years ago, and you wouldn't expect him to. But you also got to remember that, basically it's still in training camp for him. Because he doesn't practice. Yeah. He doesn't go through training camp much at all. He doesn't play there. So for him to be at the top of his game, as long as he stays healthy, I think he'll get better each week and get in better shape because, rightfully so, they keep him out because they want to keep him healthy. But, he's lost a few steps, that's for sure. Yeah. And I wouldn't put anything on it as far as running left or running right. I just think that right now trying to figure out a way to get yards with what they have.
Yeah. Do you think Pooney's hold was in the end zone? I looked in the end zone to me.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, the ball was on the 2-yard line, I think, 2 or 3 yard line, and he was setting back, and he got beat, and then he basically grabbed him from behind with both hands right in front of the official.
Didn't want to see his quarterback get
obliterated. No, that was the right call, and it was the right call with Kyler Murray. The ball was not in the end zone for the, everybody thought it was a safety, and it looked like a safety full speed when they tackled, when they had the hold in the end zone, but
on Murray,
on Murray, but
got the ball out.
He had gotten the ball, in front of the line, so by rule that wasn't a safety. So
how do we feel about the new kicker Eddie Money? R.I.P. By the way.
Eddie Mahoney.
2 Tickets to Paradise. What are the songs we got from Eddie Money?
If I Could Walk on Water.
If I Could walk on water.
We've also got Give Me Some Water.
Roseanne, was it Roseanne or Shaken?
Shaken.
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 Shaken. Snapping her fingers.
Big No Control.
Yes. I'm a big Eddie Money fan.
Northern California guy.
Hey, look, we're happy, guys. I don't care who it is. Just make field goals. Just make some field goals.
Do your job.
Yeah, do your job. Do your job. Okay, everybody.
You got one job. Kick it.
All right, Sunday Night Football start now, so we're going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for joining us. Burke, thanks for joining me.
Always fun.
Appreciate it. So we'll do this again. You're going to be gone next Sunday, right?
No.
Okay, Burke will be here next Sunday, and then he's going on vacation down under to Australia. So either I'll be back here by myself. Maybe I'll have Weston do it. What if I had Weston and Walker do it with me? My boys, I'll have my sons do it with me. They'll come out here and do it, or maybe I'll just do it by myself after 49er games. So, but then after that, we'll be good to go for the rest of the season. And if you don't have it locked in, make sure you lock it in Sundays after the 1 o'clock windows, not necessarily after the Niner games. If the Niners playing a 10 o'clock window, I ain't coming out here at 1 because I'm going to miss the 1 o'clock games. I like watching football on Sundays. So after the 1 o'clock window, we'll be out here doing the post game. So thanks for joining us, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening. See ya.